Noon pa man, malaki na ang naging bahagi ng mga kababaihan sa lipunang Pilipino. Kaisa sila sa marubdob na paghahangad ng kalayaan ng ating lahi. Kabilang sila sa paglinang ng ating makulay na sining at mayamang kultura. Kasapi sila sa pagtataguyod ng mga adhikain ng kapwa mamamayan at sa pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng lipunan. Katuwang sila sa pagtuklas sa mga larangan ng agham at medisina. Kapanalig sila sa pagpapairal ng batas, karapatan at katarungan para sa lahat. Kabahagi sila sa paglilingkod sa bayan at sa pagpapanatili ng demokrasyang Pilipino. Sa paglipas ng panahon, hindi nagmaliw ang kanilang pag-ibig sa ating inang bayan. Mga kababayan, ito ang alay ng mga kababaihang Pilipino para sa bayan. Tumayo po tayong lahat at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Ayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa gilid mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, dulot na ng pag-ibig, sa manlulupin, di ka masisingil, sa lahat ng tulog, sa sigat at sa langit mong baba. May ginatang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isang ng patawad mo'y talumpay na naglilingig. Tuwing na araw ng kailan pa may madilig. Lupa ng araw ng 100% buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang higaya ng pag-ay makahamit, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Welcome to the Women Strong Network ASEAN Kickoff Models of Women in Agribusiness webinar. I am Mylena Viva, President of the Women's Business Council Philippines. The Women's Business Council Philippines, or Women Biz PH, was established by the Department of Trade and Industry in 1997 as the lead private sector partner of government in advancing women's agenda in APEC and the ASEAN region. Women Biz PH is the leading voice of women in commerce and provide possible policies and solutions to government, particularly the Department of Trade and Industry and the Philippine Commission on Women. Women Strong Network ASEAN Kickoff will provide insights on how women can be key agents in agriculture, nutrition, and rural development. And to give the opening remarks, may I introduce our first speaker. We have with us a woman leader, an entrepreneur, mentor, mother ducky, domestic goddess. Monette is the founder and president of Team Asia, a 29-year-old award-winning integrated marketing experience firm that builds brands through branding and design, digital marketing, content marketing, events and activation, video production. Monette concurrently serves as chairwoman of the Women's Business Council Philippines, chairwoman of Hopkins International Partners Incorporated, president of the Government Academe Industry Network or GAIN, and vice president of conventions of the Philippines Association Convention Exhibition Organizers and Suppliers, or PASEOS, and she serves on the Tourism Promotions Board as a director representing the meetings, incentives, travel, conventions, and exhibitions and events services facilities sector. Monette was recognized as one of 2021's most influential Filipino women in LinkedIn. She received the Outstanding Women Entrepreneurs Award 2018 by the ASEAN Women Entrepreneurs Network, or AWEN, and the Philippines Women Leadership Awards in 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairperson of the Women's Business Council Philippines, Ms. Monette Iturralde Hamlin.
Thank you very much, Mylene. A warm Woman Strong greeting to all of you from the Women's Business Council. Welcome to today's kickoff meeting for the Women Strong Network ASEAN with special focus on agribusiness. We are delighted to have with us today Chair Sandy Montano, Chairperson of the Philippine Commission on Women, Yusek Bless Lantayona of the Department of Trade and Industry, Ibu Dia Yusuf, Secretary General Indonesia Council for Small Business Womenpreneurs, Deputy Minister for Gender Equality, Ibu Leni Rosalyn of Indonesia, Ibu Intani Dewi, Secretary of Agribusiness Management Study Program, Ibu Jatu Barmawati, owner of Ayomart in Indonesia, Miss Ginggay Hontiveros Malvar of Go Negosyo, Attorney Dulce Punsalan of Create Marketing Corporation, and Dr. Glenn Gregorio. Of course, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. As an advocacy group, our goal in Women's Business Council has always been to find solutions to challenges that women generally face in the workplace and in the conduct of their business, and to advocate possible government policies and solutions. And as you all know, we are all now facing the greatest challenges, that many of us have ever faced in our life, and that's, as you know, the global pandemic. So what have we done at the Women's Business Council about this? Last October 12, the Women's Business Council launched Women Rise, Collective Voices, Learning from Women MSMEs. This was a study that we commissioned on the needs of Filipino women entrepreneurs today. Women Rise took a close look at Sunrise Industries and the factors for their success, the challenges they face to progress, the use of financial technology, and the impact of national as well as local business environments. This study that we did drew out the lessons and the learnings of MSMEs, especially those owned and managed by women in the Philippines, from their experiences in adjusting or pivoting and trying to survive this pandemic and the direct impact on the local economy. And so we also gave these women who responded to this project access to finance through Small Business Corporation, the financial arm of DTI. Now, last December 6, we launched the Women Strong Network, Building for Innovation and Better Business, with the twin objectives of helping MSME women entrepreneurs to build capacity for business continuity planning, as well as to build a network for sustained knowledge building, exchange, and innovation. Covered by a grant from Global Affairs Canada, which is being implemented by the Philippine Business for Social Progress, the Women Strong Network will benefit 120 women MSME entrepreneurs, many of whom responded to the Women Rise study that I mentioned on the needs of Filipino women entrepreneurs today. And you know something? Because we all know that women do not keep the fruits of their success to themselves, by capacitating the intermediate beneficiaries of the Women Strong Network, this will actually impact the ultimate beneficiaries, the employees of these women, and their dependents in their families. Further, these capacitated MSMEs can actually amplify resources and reach through the Women Strong Network, providing real-time feedback to Women Biz PH and DTI to inform programs for support and development and to contribute to facilitating national economic recovery. We are so happy to be working with DTI, as well as our partners at the Philippine Marketing Association, Finex, Women in Finance, the Filipino Online Product Platform Service, or FOPSCO, and IWE, the Indian Women Entrepreneurs, for the training on change management, innovative product development, finance education, digital marketing, and e-commerce. All of this learning will benefit the 120 women who will be undergoing the Women Strong Network training. Today is special. We are moving the needle even further by opening up access to markets beyond our shores. I'm talking about the ASEAN region. And by putting the spotlight on agribusiness, we are sending out a very strong signal on the vital role of women in food security as well as nation building. Today, we have strong women leaders who will share how empowered women in agribusiness are ensuring food security in ASEAN, and also how we can all further strengthen women's participation in agribusiness. Guests, there are many members of Women's Business Council who are leading the way in agribusiness. Let me name a few. We have Cherry Atilano, founder and CEO of Agria. Agria is an inclusive business that addresses sustainable food systems. Chiet Wan, social entrepreneur, green advocate, coffee crusader, head of the Philippine Coffee Board, as well as Slow Food Movement, an eco store that helps women entrepreneurs sell their agricultural products. We have Kathy Turville, president of Nurture Wellness Village and certified living foods educator. Even Flor Tariela, I saw Flor earlier. Flor is head of Flor's Garden, an education destination accredited by DOT and the agricultural trainee. She does farm tours, and she's actually just launched a book called Weedibles, Medicinals plus Edible Flowers and More. And of course, one of our speakers, none other than Attorney Dulce Punsalan, the voice of bamboo-preneurship and eco-innovation in ASEAN. We hope and we call on our guests, no, fellow women, let's follow these brave women in the steps that they are doing in agribusiness. So this initiative that we're doing this afternoon is just one of the many strategic projects to aid in the development of government policies for the economic empowerment of women in business and industry. And we at the Women's Business Council will continue to serve as the voice of women in business and commerce in the Philippines, just as we have been doing for 25 years since Women Biz was born in 1997. Our mantra, to continue to inspire and create opportunities for women in business. So magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mylene.
Thank you very much, Monette. That is really such a powerful message. And next, we will hear from a very good friend of the Women's Business Council Philippines. She is really a supporter of all our programs. We'd like to say that she started her career in the civil service in NEDA, Region 11. She then moved to the DTI, first in various technical positions, then as provincial director of DTI Davao del Sur, and eventually as assistant regional director of DTI Region 11 Davao City. Prior to her appointment as DTI assistant secretary, she was the regional director of the Department of Trade and Industry, Region 3. She is recently appointed as the officer in charge of Regional Operations Group. She has also worked in 10 provinces in the People's Republic of China, including Beijing and Hong Kong, as a consultant for the second biggest French electrical contracting company. Likewise, she was part-time associate professor of the Graduate School of Government and Management, or the MBA department, at the University of Southern Philippines in Davao City, and at the Don Honorio Ventura Technical State University in Bacolor, Pampanga. Undersecretary Latanoya earned her BS degree in agriculture, major in economics, and she graduated cum laude. See, we have with us. So from Xavier University, Ateneo de Cagayan, Cagayan de Oro City, she holds an MBA degree in international business from École Européenne des Affaires in Paris, France. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Yusek Bless Lantanoya.
Distinguished guests and development partners, a pleasant afternoon to you all. The Philippine national artist, Fernando Amorsolo, is famous for paintings depicting quaint barrios with bountiful land stretching across the horizon and vivid characters dancing along the waves of its surrounding crops and the skies. In these paintings, women were pictured meek and graceful, winnowing basket or bilao on their heads or on their waists. These were done in the not so distant past, depicting rural women in their traditional role in the farming communities. Calming as it may seem, we know that women are cornerstone of strength, along with men toiling in the field and shaping its produce to what they can market. Notice that in Manansala's other rural paintings, as well as those by Botong Francisco, you will see women selling dried fish, kakanins, and other food processed from their menfolk's produce from the field. While women appear to be closing the gender gap, in several fields of empowerment. They continue to be mostly invisible and undervalued in one of the Philippines' economic sector, which is agriculture. Better representation of women in agriculture means more than just an increase in the amount of food produced by women-owned or women-operated farms and lands. It means expanded opportunities for today's women agriculturists to access finance and grow their operations and assume and perform leadership roles that may help ensure the food security of our nation. But where do we start and how? Women play significant role in agriculture. Data from the Food and Agriculture Organization show that more than 4 in 10 of global workforce in agriculture are women. And in the Philippines, it is evident that there is increasing participation of women, not only in agriculture, but also in other industries whose supply chain can be traced from the rural areas. Their activities are often barely acknowledged, and as a consequence, their contributions remain informal and do not get due recognition. This leads to a variety of other constraints, such as restricted access to market, finance, farmer organizations, and cooperatives. And these constraints are seen to affect women farmers' productivity and visibility to sellers and traders, as well as limit their knowledge on agricultural inputs, technological adoption, finance, and establishing networks. Each specifically affects the gender and development agenda for women in agriculture. The Philippines is a geographically diverse country like no other, rich in natural resources, biodiversity, and languages. We are situated in the Pacific Ring of Fire, making our nation vulnerable to geophysical disasters such as earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and tsunamis. We also face the risks from climate change-induced disasters, such as strong typhoons and more frequent droughts and major floodings. Of the 3 sectors of the economy, agriculture is most affected, such that for every deviation in inch of the normal amount of rainfall in certain parts of the country spells disaster in terms of either floodings or drought. Such disasters leave heavy impact on farms and food systems and undermine food production capacity for years afterward. Needless to say, this disruption in supply and losses from effects of climate change and geophysical hazards have their impact on food and agri-based enterprises, which are mostly owned or managed by women. In the last 2 years, the COVID-19 pandemic has greatly affected women entrepreneurs in terms of loss of revenues, periodic closure, supply chain disruption, and added costs to ensure that our establishments and workplaces are safe and our employees healthy. These disasters and catastrophes have affected the momentum of development that would have us attaining the status of an upper middle income economy. It stymied the structural reforms that businesses, enterprises, and the government have undertaken that made our products and services viable in the global market. But us women are never cowed by these challenges. Like the mothers we all are, we brace our homes when we see the dark clouds and fix those that were broken by storms and strong winds, and ensure that the next time they come, our homes are sturdier to protect our family and all those that are precious to us. In this manner, we build back better from the pandemic, disasters, typhoons, and earthquakes. We in the Department of Trade and Industry, together with our partner institutions in the public and private sector, shall continue to provide programs and capacity building activities that will provide our women agri-based enterprises access to finance, productivity and efficiency, access to market, and enabling environment that will encourage businesses to penetrate and thrive even in the global market. These are the core competencies that will make women-owned and managed businesses competitive and sustainable. But to survive in this market that is constantly evolving because of the effects of the pandemic, climate change, and geophysical hazards, we add more dimensions to keep our businesses afloat and profitable. First, the need to leverage on digital technology more than ever, as our markets have moved from solid physical market to that of mixed digital market, where transactions are more reliant on the internet and other digital technologies, from ordering raw material supplies to digital payments to internet-based sales. While there were substantial number of women entrepreneurs who were able to adjust to this, we also need to overcome the infrastructure problems and the need for security, especially with regard to financial transactions, and to ensure that we are preparing for the future of businesses to be ready to extensively use artificial intelligence and machine-based production processes and much more in the Industry 4.0 setting. Second, the need to ensure that our businesses are resilient to calamities. Women entrepreneurs should acquire or brush up on their business continuity planning to factor in alternative sources of raw materials in case regular suppliers are affected by calamities or when the route to market destinations are disrupted, and many more. Third is to ensure that raw materials, the processes, and the products that we produce do not damage the environment. Our enterprises should make it their mission to contribute positively to the protection of Mother Earth by using sustainable sources of energy, use of recycled and sustainable materials, and avoidance of hazardous wastes and chemicals. Green business in the long run is good and sound business. Finally, the fourth consideration is for women entrepreneurs to be open to learning and using innovation as a way to do business in terms of finding ways to market our products, design, and produce in a manner that will comply with the requirements of their markets and internationally accepted product standards, and more importantly, to stand out among our competitors, reduce the cost of production, and find new markets. Innovation is a route to a profitable future. My fellow women, strong and standing upright, if we could do this, we will make the world our market, despite of and in spite of the pandemic and disasters that may come our way. We have to be resolute to regain the time when our fields are abloom and the air still very much clean and fresh. We have to be more determined to make our communities better, resilient, and one with nature for the sake of the generations to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Yusek Bless. She will be joining us in a while at 3:30 to receive the Certificate of Appreciation from the Women's Business Council Philippines. Next, we are so honored to have with us the Deputy Minister for Gender Equality at the Indonesian Ministry of Women's Empowerment and Child Protection, or the Ministry of WECP. And at the same time, she is the chair of the ASEAN Committee on Women. Prior to these positions, she was Deputy Minister for Child Development and Acting Ministerial Secretary at Ministry of WECP before joining the WECP. Ibu Leni spent her work in private sector in 1987 to 1988 as a National Development Planning Agency, or the BAPENAS. As a top-level bureaucrat, Ibu Leni has extensive experience on policy formulation, coordination, as well as monitoring and evaluation in the area of gender, women, family, and child protection issues. She established 458 child-friendly districts, piloted model of women and child-friendly villages, founder and advisor to the Indonesian Association of Child-Friendly Companies, which to date having more than 2,000 private companies as its members. Currently, she's developing Sahabat Setara, a national-wide vibrant platform for gender equality, and Putaran, women learning centers at national and subnational levels. She is one of the governing board of Food Bank of Indonesia. Ibu Leni also writes Gender Analysis Pathway, or the GAP, and is a gender analysis tool for planning and budgeting processes used by Indonesian government. And the tool has been used in implementing gender-responsive sectoral development, such as labor, education, justice, agriculture, SMEs, infrastructure, health, environment, and more. In addition, she is the writer of some books published by the Indonesian National Development Planning Agency and East-West Center of the University of Hawaii, USA, from 1989 to 1990. She graduated from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, USA in 1993. Ibu Leni is an expert in economics development, financial investment, public policy, and statistics. She taught at various universities in Jakarta, including University of Indonesia and Atmajaya University. She received the World Award Women Leaders Award in 2007. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Honorable Ibu Leni of Leni Rosalin, Deputy Minister for Gender Equality, Minister of Women Empowerment and Child Protection, Republic of Indonesia.
Thank you, Mylene. Yeah, Excellency, Chairpersons of Women Business Council Philippines, Excellency Yusek Bless Lantayona from DTI Regional Operations Group, Her Excellency Chairperson of Philippines Commission on Women, I think she's not coming yet to this meeting. Excellencies, all panelists, my colleagues, Ibu Diah Yusuf, Chair of Womenpreneurs Indonesia Network, or WIN, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. May peace and health be upon all of us. It is my honor to be here in this event conducted by Women's Business Council of Philippines, and today we'll commemorate its program called Women Strong Network ASEAN Kick-Off Models of Women in Agribusiness. It is important because women participation and leadership in agribusiness as a part of economic empowerment is an essential achievement of courage, ingenuity, and vision. Ladies and gentlemen, the pandemic was a harsh reminder of the dependence of the whole economy, especially of micro and small enterprises, and also brought to the fore the interest vulnerabilities, including women in the business sector. The digital economy presents new opportunity for countries' economic growth and improving their living standards. Many countries are already benefiting from an expanding digital economy, particularly in e-commerce and online media businesses. The COVID-19 pandemic has been accelerating the transformation from conventional way into adopting digital technologies. The digital transformation covers government activities on delivering public services, business, and social interaction among people. The digital economy describes how digital technology is changing patterns of production, consumption, and way of life. I think it happens in all business sectors, including agribusiness. On that note, women's economic empowerment and also digital and financial inclusion of women has become the main agenda of each country, besides gender mainstreaming and other specific sectoral development approaches. Of course, this includes for women who are in the agribusinesses. Ladies and gentlemen, women play a vitally important role in a whole range of agricultural activities. Women make up at least half the productive workforce. In addition to their role as food producers, they are responsible for preparing food in the home and ensuring that their families have a nutritious diet. However, it tends to be men rather than women who undertake and mostly benefit from profitable activities along agricultural value chains. In the last decade, there have been projects designed to strengthen women's agribusiness enterprises with the goals to make a real difference to the lives of large numbers of women and help them move towards the business and of value chains where most of the profits are to be found. They provide women with access to market intelligence and price information and provide women with the training and skills that they need to improve their business performance. The women capacity to manage and expand their businesses has to be improved so their skills, knowledge, and networks will be increased. Some activities have also been initiated, including designing and developing a digital agribusiness intelligence portal for women agripreneurs with the aim to bridge the information gap that repeatedly disadvantages women in agricultural markets. Hosting events that feature best practices in women entrepreneurship in general and women agripreneurship in particular would also help women to learn from other women who had excelled and showed great innovation in their businesses. The program aimed to boost the startup and development of women's businesses in rural areas through a combination of enterprise development, social transformation, and policy advocacy interventions are very important. Ladies and gentlemen, as the chair of ASEAN Committee on Women, or ACW, I do appreciate this initiative. As you know that since last year, Indonesia, through the Minister of Women Empowerment and Child Protection of the Republic Indonesia, my minister, she has been chosen as the chair of ASEAN Ministers on Women for the next 3 years. So is the chair of the ASEAN Women Entrepreneurs Network, or AWEN, also from Indonesia. The government of Indonesia is also held as the G20 presidency for this year. We are all committed to empower women in all development fields so that our national targets related gender mainstreaming and women empowerment must be achieved. Among others, we have some indicators like a Human Development Index by sex, Gender Development Index, Gender Empowerment Index, labor force participation rate of women, improving women in STEM, etc. We do all of this because almost half of Indonesian population, which is about 135 million of them are women. Most of them are at the productive age. Once we improve them, then the multiplier impact to the whole economy will be improved too. I think we all do agree that addressing gender inequality and preventing and combating violence against women are also essential to responding to and recovering from the pandemic. This happened also in the ASEAN, in which we issued the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework as a consolidated strategy for ASEAN to emerge more resilient and stronger from the COVID-19 crisis, giving due consideration to the hardest hit sectors and vulnerable groups. The framework focuses on 5 broad strategies, namely enhancing the health system, strengthening human security, maximizing the potential of intra-ASEAN market and broader economic integration, accelerating inclusive digital information, and advancing towards a more sustainable and resilient future. These efforts are in line with our goals to continue in achieving all Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. The 4th ASEAN Ministerial Meeting on Women just last year in October 2021 and was guided by the theme Digital Economy and Financial Inclusion for Improving ASEAN Women's Competitiveness. I think we can use this opportunity because there are so many programs that have been agreed by all the ministers, the ASEAN ministers, that include women in the digital economy, financial inclusion, and assets ownership. So this also covers women in the agriculture sectors. These efforts include improving accessibility and affordability of financial products and services, promoting interoperability among financial institutions, strengthening connectivity and streamlining financial support, disseminating information on e-commerce, digital platforms, and financial technology, conducting capacity building or trainings, coaching, and mentoring. And the last one is enhancing market opportunity and linkages. For Indonesia itself, our president just gave 5 priorities for a woman empowerment and child protection. Among others is how to improve and how to empower a woman in the entrepreneurs. So this is become our challenge also, and hopefully we can achieve all of this by next years. Ladies and gentlemen, I do hope that our event today will motivate those already in the business to do better, inspire more women to get into agribusinesses, and help change perceptions about women's ability to establish and develop successful businesses. In closing, I would like to express my gratitude to all participants. I look forward to a fruitful and productive collaboration with all of you. With this, I conclude my remarks. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih. Thank you, Ibu Leni, for so many insights that all our women in agribusiness here in ASEAN will be learning a lot from Indonesia. Your health system, your accelerating your digital program, the resilient future of e-commerce that you are doing in Indonesia, and all the coaching and mentoring. And thank you so much for your time. And may we now call in Chairwoman of the Women's Business Council, Ms. Monette Iturralde Hamlet, and maybe also call in our moderator, who I will be introducing more formally later on, Ibu Dia Yusuf, to please join us for the presentation of the Certificate of Appreciation. And if I may read the citation, the Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Ibu Leni and Rosaline, Deputy Minister for Gender Equality, Ministry of Women Empowerment and Child Protection, Republic of Indonesia, for imparting her valuable insights during the Women Strong Network ASEAN Kickoff Models of Women in Agribusiness, given this 24th day of January 2022. So we will have a photo, and then, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a group photo after with Ibu Leni. Okay, so please smile. Okay, another one. Okay, terima kasih. Okay, now we will have our guests. We have over 100 people here in our room. So please switch on your videos so that we can have a commemorative photo with our Honorable Ibu Leni Rosaline, Deputy Minister. Okay, please switch on your videos, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so
This
much.
is a milestone. Okay. All right. Okay, IT, please. We have a few pages, so please keep smiling. We don't know which page will be coming out. Okay, please keep smiling. 1, 2, 3. One more. Okay, next page. We have 5 pages. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Keep smiling, please. Okay, one more. 2 more. Actually, 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Keep smiling. And last page. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Lenny. Thank you. Terima kasih. All right, now let's proceed. We hope that you can stay a bit for the rest of the event. But this time I would like it's an honor for me to introduce our mentor. She is what we call the Indonesia Entrepreneurship Development Enthusiast. Ibu Dia is very enthusiastic to involve and dedicate her time through many social communities and working with government projects to develop SME in Indonesia since 2005, while developing her own business. She founded Indonesia Prima, a business support organization with global network to develop accountable Indonesian enterprises which align with sustainable development goals and support their optimum achievement to prepare and connect with investors. She is a business consultant and business coach for many business owners and organizations in Indonesia and other countries. Ibu Dia is the Secretary General of Indonesia Council for Small Business from 2022 present and the Director for the ICSB Womenpreneurs Indonesia. She is also the International Council for Small Business. It was founded in 1955, based in Washington, D.C., USA. It is the first international membership organization to promote growth and development of small businesses worldwide. She is also chairperson of Womenpreneurs Indonesia Network, or WIN. She is a champion for women economic empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ibu Dia Yusuf.
Yeah, thank you, Mylene. Selamat siang, good evening, everyone. Mabuhay. My name is Dia Yusuf from Indonesia. It's an honor to support and collaborate again with my dear friend, Mylene Abiba, President of Women Business Council Philippines. We're really exciting to apply here, women support women. Is that right, Mylene? Okay. First of all, it's delighted to meet here with the Chair Sandy Montano, Chairperson Philippine Commission on Women, and also thank you for Ibu Leni Rosalin, Deputy Minister for Gender Equality and Chair Asian Commission on Women, for represent Ibu Bintang Puspayoga, Ministry of Women Empowerment and Child Protection Indonesia, to give a keynote in the beginning, and also Yusek Bless Lantanoya, Undersecretary of Department of Trade, Dr. Glenn Gregorio, Director, Southeast Asian Regional Center for Graduate Study and Research in Agriculture, or CERCA, Chair Monet Iturralde Hamlin, Chairperson Women's Business Council Philippines, and also Mylene Abifa, my friend, President Women's Business Council Philippines, and also my friends here, Eric Cake, President of ICSB Philippines, also Asian Women Entrepreneurs Network, or AWEN members, Women Business Philippine members, and also officials from various government agencies, women entrepreneurs, academia, and other stakeholders. As Mylene already read my resume, I am as an entrepreneur and also a mother and also a business advisor for many enterprises in Indonesia, from SMEs and also corporate. I also have many activities in entrepreneurial organizations, both with local and internationals, also both concerned in general business and women entrepreneurship development. Right now, I am as a chairwoman of Womenpreneurs Indonesia Networks, We call it WIN because we must win. We is a women entrepreneurs, we is a women empowerment, we is a women education, we is a women emotion, women enthusiasm, women encouragement, women enlightenment, women excellence, women equality. We are us, then together we will shine. Okay, we will talking about a win later because one of our mission also we can collaborate with many womenpreneurs organization internationally, especially in ASEAN and Philippines Women Business Council. I believe with strong collaboration, we can do many impactful for the world. So back to today's topic is about Women Strong Network ASEAN Kickoff models of women in agribusiness. Right now we have 4 panelists, consists of a practitioner, also researcher from the university. So not to waste any more time, I will call the first panelist. Is my colleague from Indonesia, Ibu Intani Dewi. She is a secretary of Agribusiness Management Study Program, SV Institute Pertanian Bogor, IPB. She will talking about the women in agribusiness study on nation building and women economic empowerment. Before that, I would like to read her resume. Ibu Intani Dewi, she have an educational background as a bachelor degree in Bogor Agricultural University in Bogor, and major in social economic of animal husbandry. And she also have a master degree of Bogor Agricultural University and George August University Göttingen as a joint degree, major in agribusiness and also international agriculture and rural development economics with Göttingen, Germany. And now she is a lecturer since 2006 in Institute Pertanian Bogor in Bogor. IPB is one of the major agriculture university in Indonesia. So she also have achievement as a 3rd position in Best Oral Presenter category Young Scientist in the International Seminar of Animal Industry. She also teaching about the entrepreneurship in the agribusiness management from 2015 until now, and also as well as in the introduction to agribusiness. So nothing further, I will call Ibu Intan to share her knowledge.
Thank you, Budia Yusuf, for the introduction. Can you hear my voice, Budia?
Great. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, distinguished speakers, and also the panelists, ladies and gentlemen, for this webinar participant. Hello, my name is Intani Dewi. I am from IPB University, especially from College of Vocational Studies. We can call it Sekolah Vokasi in Indonesia. And I am the Secretary of Management Agribusiness Study Program. So let me just share my PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, so this is my PowerPoint. So I would like to say thank you first to the committee of this event who is giving me the chance to become one of the speakers in this event entitled Women Strong Network ASEAN Kickoff Models of Women in Agribusiness. So actually, I would like to present about the role of IPB, College of Vocational Studies, in creating an entrepreneurial environment. Okay. So the main agenda of my presentation is about to introduce the entrepreneurship ecosystem that we have in College of Vocational Studies in IPB University. So IPB College of Vocational Studies is a skills education program that is oriented towards the application of practical science and educate students to be competent and skilled in the world of work. And the advantages of IPB College of Vocational Studies is we have state universities. This is the state universities with legal entities, and all study programs have been accredited by the National Accreditation Agency for Higher Education, and complete learning facilities with modern area laboratories. The quality of graduates is recognized nationally and internationally, obtaining ISO 9001 2008 in recognition of the quality assurance of educational management. And the campus is in the middle of Bogor City, which is cool and comfortable. And it has a modern, clean, and comfortable building, and superior teaching staff and professional graduates of foreign and domestic college. And also, we have lecturers consist of IPB lecturers, experts, and practitioners who are experts in their field. And we have a large alumni network and spread across various professions throughout the nation and abroad. Our vision is to become a world-class research-based college with the main competencies of tropical agriculture, biosciences, and entrepreneurial character. And our missions are, the first is organizing high-quality higher education and comprehensive student development in order to improve the competitiveness of the nation. We also want to develop science and technology according to the needs of the agrarian and nautical societies in the present and trends in the future that are increasingly competitive. To build a college management system of entrepreneurial character, effective, efficient, transparent, and accountable. And the last one, to encourage the formation of civil society based on truth and human rights. Okay, and we as women educators, we have conduct Tri Dharma for all of the educators in IPB or in Indonesia also Tri Dharma higher education, namely teaching. First is teaching, provides the best education in the field of entrepreneurship to form and strengthen the entrepreneurial spirit as the business foundation of students to produce resilient young entrepreneurs, and students can create business ideas and manage business. Second one is conducting community service to improve skills and knowledge in planning and developing business through the provision of business training related to marketing, production, human resources, and also finance. And the last one, conducting research to provide solution to business problems faced by partner companies and also alumni. Here in IPB College of Vocational Studies, we have 17 study programs. They are communication, ecotourism, informatics management, computer engineering, food quality assurance, supervisor, management of industrial food and nutrition services, seed technology industry, production technology and management of aquaculture, livestock technology and management, agribusiness management, industrial management, chemistry analysis, environmental engineering and management, accounting, paramedics veterinary, technology and management of plantation production. The last one, production technology and development of agricultural communities. This study program, they have like entrepreneur lecture. I mean, it is mandatory that they have to take the lesson in our campus for entrepreneurship. Okay, and this is some of the products from the student practice and also research result of the lecturers. First is processing chrysanthemum flowers extracted into tea bags, and then agricultural learning technology with augmented reality in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture Indonesia, multimedia products for agricultural dissemination in cooperation with the Ministry of Agriculture Indonesia, creation of family to be healthy application, automatic irrigation system on hydroponic seedlings and IoT-based monitoring, the creation of a microcontroller-based chicken egg counting tools with an integrated web, manufacture of weight gauge and freshness detection of goat meat with Telegram notification, implementation of microcontroller-based dairy cow mobility monitoring tools, implementation of the rice field pest tools using Android-based PIR sensors, making melon picking robots with weight sorting method, and prototype of a temperature, humidity, and soil moisture monitoring system with IoT base, and also implementation of ESP 8266 as a temperature and light intensity regulator at greenhouse. And the last one is implementation of web-based hydroponic greenhouse condition monitoring and control system at Siameo Bioto. Okay. Next, these are the picture of our facilities and infrastructure. This is our teaching factory, chicken close house. This is biochemical buildings. This is campus park. This is campus amphitheater. This is our fishing ponds and hatchery, campus greenhouse, reservoir pool and close house, and vocational guest house. We have our teaching factory also collaborated with some company partner. The first one is we have modern close house capacity of 40,000 chicken cooperation with PT Caron Pokpan Indonesia. And the second one, modern greenhouse, 2 units with an area of 1,000 square meters each, cooperation with PT Great Giant Pineapple and PT Neta Farm. Aquaculture capacity of 10 tons for the fish, entrepreneur training center shop, teaching factory in IPB College of Vocational Studies, Prima Versmat cooperation with PT Caron Pokpan Indonesia, and the rest is agribusiness cooperation. Okay, we can see here some of the picture of our teaching factory. This is the modern closed house that we have. And this is the modern greenhouse that also we have. This is the aquaculture teaching factory. And this is the entrepreneurship teaching center. This is the picture here. And the last one is the TEFA teaching factory and entrepreneurial ecosystem. So here, if we can see the arrow here, so if you can see the yellow one, this one is the stakeholder can make consultation directly to ClickBee. So ClickBee is one of the application that our lecturer made, so that can connect from the 17 study program with the alumni and also the partner industry, so that they can do consultation through this application. So, and this is the result is our services and also benefit. And this is the integration between IPB as the university, alumni, and also company partners. So it also can be formed in the field of practice, internship, and also as a distribution channel for the product that we made from IPB School of Vocational Studies. So thank you very much. You can visit our website at sp.ipb.ac.id. Thank you very much. Back to you, Bu Dia.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Intani. So this is she bring about how universities can be a development agent for agriculture, especially in Indonesia. But I don't know, maybe later we can explore, is there any ASEAN student outside Indonesia who studied in IPB, and maybe we can explore also how to collaborate with IPB from another country. Okay, the second panelist, sorry.
We have to have the certificate first.
Okay. Yeah. So, Ibu Intani, please join with us again. This is a certificate of appreciation. It's presented to Intani Dewi, Secretary of Agribusiness Management Study Program, SV Institute Pertanian Bogor, for imparting a valuable insight during Women Strong Network ASEAN Kickoff Models of Women in Agribusiness. Let's take us a picture with
We
Ibu
got
Monet.
Chair Monet, yes, Chair Monet.
Yes, Chair Monet, can you join us here? Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ibu Intani, for sharing the information on your university and how you're helping develop entrepreneurs in agribusiness. I'm very interested to ask a question later.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Let's take us a picture first. Keep smiling.
Okay, all right. Okay, Ibu. Okay, 1, 2, smile. Okay, thank you, thank you. Terima
Thank you very
kasih. Okay,
much.
back to you, Ibu Dia.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you, Mylene. And now we have a second panelist. Thank you for the sharing and the insight from Ibu Intan. For our audience and participants, if you have any question, please write in the chat box and to whom you address the question. For the second panelist, I would like to call it here. This the second topic will be interesting to explore more and how women can feed ASEAN through sustainable agripreneurship. This topic will be shared by my Philippines fellow, Ginggay Hontiveros Malfar, as a senior advisor for Go Negosyo, senior advisor for agripreneurship and Mindanao program heads. So, and her resume, I would like to read her resume as follows. Sorry. Anna Margarita Ginggay Hontiveros. Ginggay Hontiveros is a multidiscipline, result-oriented, and multi-awarded leader with extensive experience in the corporate and development sectors, and has been instrumental in building sustainable agriculture development and peace programs in conflict areas of the Philippines. In the corporate world, Ginggay is currently Vice President for Reputation Management and Sustainability at Aboitiz Equity Ventures Incorporation, a holding company of the Aboitiz Group that has extensive businesses and leadership position in the power, banking, food, land, and infrastructure sectors in the Philippines and across the Southeast Asia, and has disclosed its commitments to the UN Sustainable Development Goals as part of the group's contribution to the global sustainability goals. In the development sectors, since 2016, she leads the Negosyo for Peace, Business for Peace programs, agripreneurship, mentorship, and inclusive agribusiness programs for the Office of the Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship, Joy Conception. She holds the official designation as Go Negosyo's Senior Advisors for Agripreneurship and Programs Head for Bangsamoro Region for Peace and Development. She has also been appointed as Project Arc Leaders for LGU Partnership, also under OPAE. To support and help transform marginalized communities vulnerable to extremism and violence, Ginggay leads the ongoing intervention for peace and sustainable impact through humanitarian and livelihood projects in partnership with local stakeholders from both public and private sectors. These programs are focused on nurturing trust and mutual respect with engagement of and sustainable development for Muslim communities in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao, Philippines. By working directly with stakeholders from all sides, including the armed contingent of the MNLF and MILF, Gingai has slowly succeeded in spreading peace initiative in the Muslim province of Sulu, Lanao, Del Sur, Manguindanao, and some of the Muslim municipalities in Lanao del Norte. This is a really great resume, and I think I will also learn from her privately and directly. So nothing further, I would like to call Ms. Gingai.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Dia, for that very kind introduction. I hope everyone is well, staying healthy and keeping safe, no, despite what's happening now with the COVID pandemic. So firstly, allow me to thank the organizers of today's forum, the Women Strong Network in ASEAN, especially to our great friends, Mylene and Monette, for reaching out to us at the Office of Go Negosyo. And Presidential Advisor Joey Concepcion, and giving us an opportunity to share with you today. We're always very happy to join forums that really speak about women empowerment and everything that we're doing, in our own economies to really move forward, and thrive better. So thank you very much for this opportunity to share all about our work in empowering an inclusive and sustainable agripreneurship ecosystem in the Philippines. And we're doing this mainly through mentorship and transformational leadership, which is really what I wanted to talk about today, about the role of women as transformational leaders in Philippine agriculture, especially in the light of the pandemic, where it's been so disruptive, it's been so challenging. And from big companies all the way to our small farmers and stakeholders in the provinces, everyone's been really affected. So we're going to share today how we're continuing to evolve those programs and continue to bring together different stakeholders so that we can address the ongoing pain points in agriculture. So next slide, please. So we all are quite familiar with what transformational leadership is all about. And essentially, it really has 4 key elements. And these elements are also, hallmarks of our ability to work with our teams on the ground, especially with the women and the women leaders in our farming communities and agricultural micro-entrepreneurs, cooperatives, and associations, to help us all identify a better vision, create a better vision that can be guided through change and through inspiration, identifying what are the needed changes that have to happen, and executing the change in tandem with committed members of the group or stakeholders in order to bring that vision to fruition. So the 4 key elements that we're most familiar with in transformational leadership are: number 1, inspirational motivation, giving individualized consideration for the context and situation of each member of the stakeholder group. intellectual stimulation, and of course, idealized influence, which all of these four have really very practical and on-ground applications that have allowed us the opportunities to help make lives a little bit better through the work that we do. And also because of the very nature of who we are as women, these elements are part of our natural abilities and strength. So we can use our abilities as organic nurturers, mentors, leaders with empathy and compassion, and really leverage on this to bring about positive change and impact in the lives of others, just as we do so in our own families and communities. So this application has never been more imperative than it is today, especially in the light of the many challenges that have far-reaching implications in our agriculture and food systems. And I hope to be able to share with you some of the real-life examples that we are doing, how we've been moving in this space together with many other women leaders to bring about change for a more inclusive and sustainable agriculture. So our work in Go Negosyo, or the Philippine Center for Entrepreneurship Foundation, which was created by PA Joey more than 15 years ago, has really been focused on empowering mentorship with the belief that micro-entrepreneurs, including our MSMEs in the agri and food sectors, comprise the largest segment of registered businesses in the Philippines and are truly the backbone of our economy. We believe in the foundational philosophy of mentorship, money, and market, which are key success factors in order for small business owners and agripreneurs to succeed. And so we've tried to continue to implement our leadership programs in mentorship throughout the country in partnership with government agencies like the DTI, the Department of Trade and Industry, and the Department of Agriculture. And we believe that mentorship is a key element to success, whether it be in our own personal lives, professional lives, or in business. At different points or stages in our own lives, we have had to look to parents, to guardians, to teachers, to professors, partners, fellow colleagues, and leaders as a source of inspiration, as role models, as living examples of our own vision for how we see our own future. And it's a very practical application of mentorship within a learning setting for entrepreneurs that continues to be the flagship of the work we do in Go Negosyo. So in 2016, together with the Department of Agriculture, we created the Kapatid Agri Mentor Me program, or what we call CAMP. And its objective is really to nurture and sustain agribusiness in the country through mentorship. No? So it's specifically focused on smallholder farmers, especially the women farmers or women stakeholders in the agri ecosystem. Now, the program is unique because the mentors that we have are industry practitioners. So these are successful men and women in agribusiness who serve as mentors to provide guidance and assistance to equip smallholder farmers, fisherfolk, agri-co-ops, and associations, the youth who are now very much involved in agriculture as well, with the right kind of entrepreneurial mindset, very practical knowledge and strategies that will help them in expanding their agribusinesses and really give them a much better chance for success. To date, we've mentored over 2,000 agricultural cooperatives, reaching more than 100,000 individual smallholder farmers in far-reaching regions of the country. And now, because of COVID-19, which has been appending lives and businesses all over the world, we found that CAMP really has to remain relevant and necessary. And we did evolve its application into a virtual or digitalized form. So through CAMP Online, which we developed in 2020 and continues to this day, this is the practical delivery mechanism for the mentorship modules to be used to propel agripreneurs forward in order to survive and thrive in spite of the setbacks that the sector has been encountering. It's also worthwhile to note that membership in CAMP continues to be dominated by women. And in fact, I'm happy to share that even in our lead partner agencies like the DTI, the DA, Agricultural Training Institute, and the Department of Agriculture Credit Council, these are two critical agencies in the CAMP implementation, which are also both led by women. So that's Director Anna and Director Jocelyn Badiola. So we continue to use positive influence and intellectual stimulation in mentoring our camp mentees. We try to listen and understand their needs and ensure that the individual considerations are given for situations that are unique to their sector, and also provide, this is very important, also to provide the inspirational motivation that keeps them positive and looking forward towards a better future. So next slide, please. So I'm going to share now about our Mindanao and BARM development programs, or what we call Negosyo for Peace. This is probably one of the programs that we've pioneered and are most proud of in Go Negosyo. For many years, on a personal level, we've been able to nurture friendships with several families and personal friends in the region, many of them who are women leaders as well in their own right, and have come to know the very intricate, complex, challenging, and actually quite fascinating dynamics in these predominantly Muslim provinces. It was also very apparent from the start of my journey in the Bangsamoro region, where we have some of the poorest communities with men, and especially women and children, who are extremely vulnerable to conflict or violence, oftentimes caught in this vicious cycle that could seem unending. And in 2016, the same year that we started camp, and with the looming situation of still uneasy peace in Mindanao hanging over everyone's heads at the time, together with our team, we were requested to begin a series of programs to help the Bangsamoro provinces through a livelihood intervention and with the support of the different private sector big sisters and brothers here in Manila. So we began the development programs in the province of Sulu in partnership with key local stakeholders and some of Manila's largest corporations to establish capacity building programs, sustainable communities, and inclusive agripreneurship products. Spanning several municipalities in this province, the programs have since been instrumental in helping to uplift people's lives. It's also helped to empower former Abu Sayyaf rebels to return to the fold and become productive members of their community. So all these programs are still ongoing. In 2017, we all know that the Marawi siege broke out. And once again, we were called to respond to a wave of private sector support that provided much needed response and relief to displaced communities. And it became quite apparent in those early days, in many of the personal encounters that we had with displaced families who lost family members, homes, and livelihood, that we really needed a more sustainable and innovative solution to be developed, one that could provide much needed entrepreneurial support and at the same time be respectful and sensitive to the local cultural and religious beliefs. So it had to be an inclusive solution that would address not just rebuilding from the scars of a battlefield, but more importantly, to address long-standing and very real societal pain points, about exclusion, conflict, social injustice, violence, and poverty. So this led to our development of the Go Negosyo model farms, which began as livelihood interventions together with local leaders and many of the women farmers in these communities, and have since transitioned into inclusive, self-reliant, and sustainable agri-ventures for many communities across the provinces of Lanao del Sur, Lanao del Norte, and Maguindanao, which is essentially in the mainland of the Bangsamoro region. So this included the transformation of former rebel military camps into farming communities so that they could be more self-reliant and less dependent on, other illegal means to secure food and livelihood and income for their families. And through the years of working on the ground and also ensuring that women continue to have a seat at tables where high-level discussions and policies take place, we've also learned that stakeholder engagement is one of the most critical elements for success here. It's also been, I think, one of the most challenging aspects of our work. So you have to be consistently sensitive to the aspirations and objectives of each party and recognize the role that each one plays in a bigger picture. You need to always be, updated and informed, respectful of protocols and dynamics, including the very strong local political play that's always at work. And at the same time, being a woman myself and a woman leader, try as much as possible to lead by example and show them that bureaucracy or politics need not stand in the way of progress, and in fact can be tools to unify action by the communities and the local governments towards a common goal. Some of these areas we were working with were actually places which were formerly considered no man's land for Christians. They never experienced partnerships with Christian stakeholders. There was a lot of bias, probably in some areas, deep-seated wounds, of hatred and prejudice against outsiders. But I think through the work that we've been doing over the years, where we were there every day, every week on the ground, working hand in hand with farmers, working hand in hand with the local women communities, with politicians and local government agencies, and really garnering support from other private sector partners, we've slowly been able to bring the development models to fruition and slowly break down walls and barriers, helping people work towards a common vision that they can come to embrace as their own. So through this persistent and patient stakeholder engagement and open and honest communication and consideration, again, using inspirational motivation and influence, and working hand in hand on the ground with all our partners and stakeholders, we've been able to slowly help communities carve out a path toward lasting peace. So from arms to farms, in a very real sense of the word, trying to revive and inculcate an inspired appreciation and love for agribusiness and farming. So there have been countless challenges, setbacks, disputes or situations along the way, but what really held us together was staying true to this common vision in our hearts, a vision that was very clear from the start about establishing sustainable agripreneurship within communities to bring about positive change, providing them and their families and communities with livelihood and restoring the dignity which was once lost. So at every turn or at every milestone, their success was also our success, no? A shared success between the women and the men in these communities. Next slide, please, Abby. Okay, so I'm going to share now about ALAB, or Angat Lahat sa Agribusiness, which is essentially the business incubation program that is the next level stage for agripreneurs and agri-cooperatives that have graduated out of the CAMP program. So this is more of a close-in mentorship. It's a very tight hand-holding and implementation of the business plan, which they presented during their CAMP graduation. And we will continue to help drive this transformational change within this organization in order to help its members, its owners, its women leaders to really fulfill their business objectives and capacitate them for sustainable business, perhaps involving them in sustainable business contracts with big brothers or large corporations as part of the supply or value chain of these companies. So it's also really about mentoring big companies to make them open-minded, and trusting about getting into business with smallholder farmer communities and smallholder farmer agricultural cooperatives, no, and slowly opening up the supply and value chains. Even if you start with, let's say, only just 1% or 2%, no, it's still a door that we are able to slowly open. And this is also all part of the transformative change that we want to see in the agriculture landscape. So examples of some of these successful ALAB programs are groups such as the Lamot Cooperative in Benguet and MBA Farms in Marawi, Lanao del Sur. So Lamot began as a cut flower operation, and they've since grown to a multi-crop farming operation involving smallholder communities in that area. And MBA Farms was a pioneer Go Negosyo model farm livelihood project in Lanao del Sur after the Marawi siege. And from a single crop farming operation, they've since grown and transitioned into being one of the accredited local yellow corn suppliers to the Pulmico feed mill in Iligan. And many of the original members in MBA Farms, these smallholder farmers, very small agripreneurs, have since ventured on their own to start their own farming businesses and also help their own farming communities in their respective areas. So both these co-ops have been supported by our foundation Sustainable Communities Program. So next slide, please. So just a little bit also about Angat Lahat sa Digital, which is really all about a digitalization program so that our agripreneurs have a much wider market field to play in, so to speak, for them to move into the digital marketplace by providing them access to online market channels. So we all know that digitalization, it's a great democratizer and equalizer in business. It levels the playing field regardless of your gender, regardless of your personal background, regardless of personal circumstances, right? So we really want to leverage on digitalization to be able to give agripreneurs a better chance of finding new customers and opening new markets for their businesses. So through partnerships with companies like Lazada and Shopee and many other marketplace platforms, we are slowly helping agripreneurs evolve and capacitate themselves to be able to gain more customers through digital channels and transform themselves slowly to be able to compete in this space, because as we know, it's very competitive. You have to really, give 200% of your time, of your effort. You have to do your branding, your promotions, your marketing. You have to man your online store 24/7. So these are the capacities and the knowledge and the skill sets that we are now imparting to our mentees in Go Negosyo so that they can become competitive as well in the digital market space. Okay, so in closing, I suppose the key lessons about transformational leadership and the role of women in this transformation are very much alive in Philippine agriculture, in the same way that it's very much alive in our own personal lives. It's all about having strong interpersonal skills, really having compassion and empathy for the plight of others, being creative and innovative in finding solutions, thinking out of the box and saying, yes, we will find a way when everybody else says, no, you can't do this or you can't do that. And I think as women, we often hear that, right, from many of our counterparts. So we always have to find a way to say yes or convince people that it's a yes rather than a no. Being agile and quick thinkers in the face of challenges to your envisioned future, having that adaptability, especially now that's so critical because times now are so disruptive and everything happens so fast, right? And then we always also share with, the women who are members in our Go Negosyo communities, and especially also the youth, right? Our future, our tomorrow, to always be curious and unafraid to surround yourself with brilliant minds so that, you can really learn something new. You can enable the team and community to achieve more together. And to a certain calculated extent, you really have to take a leap of faith and be a risk taker, believe in your ideas, and then take the necessary risks to implement them. And while we know that the global pandemic has really changed the way we live all our lives forever, and we, the women in the agricultural ecosystem, we want to remain fully committed and undeterred in really helping to lead and participate in a truly sustainable and inclusive agriculture and lasting peace here in the Philippines, and perhaps also in the region with many of our friends in ASEAN and our stakeholders. And I remain confident and always hopeful in all these partnerships that we've nurtured through the years, in the power of mentorship and the role of women as transformational leaders, and in the passion and commitment of every single stakeholder in this challenging journey. So just let me leave you with this thought as I close my message this afternoon. It's a saying from Seth Godin, which we always like to share with our mentees. And it says, transformational leaders don't start by denying the world around them. Instead, they describe a future they'd like to create together. So together, may we all continue to be a force for good. May we continue to support one another and celebrate our individual and collective successes, because, I've always believed that a win for one woman is a win for all our communities, and it is a win for all. So may we continue to work together to enable, to empower, to inspire, toward an inclusive and sustainable agripreneurship for a better tomorrow for all. So thank you very much for your time, and I'm so happy to be able to share this with all of you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Gingai. Such awesome insight, and let's explore collaboration, especially with Indonesia and all Asian agriculture in business. Thank you. But before we have such a certificate of appreciation, so I will also ask Mylene to come with us, and also Monet also to come with us here to give a certificate of appreciation to Miss Anna. So Gingai is your nickname, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's right. Thank you.
Okay. Mylene, are you there? Okay. So this is a certificate of appreciation is presented to Miss Anna Margarita Hontiveros Malvar, or Gingai, Senior Advisor for Agripreneurship Go Negosyo, for imparting valuable insights during Women Strong Network ASEAN Kickoff Models of Women in Agribusiness. Thank you so much. So let's
Thank
take
you,
a picture
Jingay.
first.
Thank you, Gingai.
Thank you
Galing.
very much. Thank you
Galing.
for having us. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so
Mhm.
let's continue to our third panel. Before Gingai is mentioned about the youth, yeah. So here we have a millennial farmer here, from Indonesia, Miss Jatu Barmawati. She is the owner of Ayomart. Today, she will share about the strengthening women's participation in agribusiness. So she is very well known in Indonesia, is a millennial farmer. Yeah. So before that, I would like to read her resume. Jatu Barmawati. So Jatu is a high motivation in green and any sustainable movement, agile and foresight leadership capability in working environment. She's still young, and she's also endorsed by Secretariat General of Indonesian Millennial Farmers, Ambassador of Ministry of Agriculture, Republic of Indonesia. So she is now also as a President Director, PT Mitra Exotic Asia, Imperishable Food Export Company, sister company of Asia Fresh Holland. She experienced also speaker on UN Food System Summit Dialogue with IRRI and CGIAR, nourishing Southeast Asia in a post-COVID-19 world, scaling nutrition and food security research for food systems transformation in 2021. She also is a national delegation on UN Food System, transforming pathways, working with farmers in agri-food system. She also is a speaker on Millennial Agriculture Forum in the Ministry of Agriculture. She also have a speaker as a National Symposium of Sugarcane Policy in the UGM 2014. Okay, so nothing further. I will call Miss Jatu, Mbak Jatu yang masih muda, still young, so I cannot say Ibu, so Mbak Jatu, to share her expertise.
Thank you, Ibu Dia. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so proud to be here that I'd like to say greeting to Dr. Glenn Gregorio as Director of Southeast Asia Regional Center for Graduate Study and Research in Agriculture, or SIARCA, Ibu Monet as Chairperson in Women Business Council Philippines, Ibu Milen Abdipa, President Women Business Council Philippines, and also Ibu Leni from the ministry, and another key person that have very, very amazing story about women in agribusiness. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Jatu Barmawati. I'm a farmer. So I would like to share my screen. Yeah. So is it already?
Yes, good, good.
Okay.
You
Oh,
can
wait.
see. Okay.
Yeah. So about strengthening women participation in agribusiness, I am very proud to become a woman because woman is the connector of everything, especially for life. And then I feel like it can become the beat of this life also. So in this opportunity, I would like to share about my company, IUMART. This is like acronym of Agriculture Youth Organization MART. So all of the members of IUMART are millennials under 14 and above 18. So IUMART itself is a sociopreneur, and at first it was a community, and then we have like a sustainable and holistic system because we start to become the organic one. And nowadays it become the one-stop shopping for all accessible agriculture-based valuable product. So it's easy to find out the IOMART in the next further in each part of Indonesia. So we have like the food crisis, and the food crisis, it can be snowballing in economic, social, health, and environment problem. And in IOMART, our vision is to become the leading end-to-end valuable food solution by millennial power. Why millennial? Because in Indonesia itself, we have like a bonus demographic. It's about like more than 70% of Indonesian is millennials. So the power of millennials can become our power to have the bigger impact, and also can make the any kinds of threat or crisis if it can manage well by all of the ecosystem, government, private sector, and everything. If we can manage the millennial power, this world it becomes a good place to stay. And our mission is creating sustainable food supply system, creating sustainable market, and promoting valuable product to international level. And because IOMART itself, at first, I export to another country also, and on that, at first, I would like to manage small group of millennial farmers, and I would like to prove that being the millennials, we need to become a trigger of the pioneer of the good quality and sustainable food supply system, and then upgrade the farmers and SME capacity to improve their prosperity. It's not only for the profit-oriented business, but it's also can become impactful. And our main goals is to make the social food network in each part of Indonesia. So we would like to connect our source from Indonesia to the world, because Indonesia itself have like the special privilege that the quality of the product in the Equator is very nice, and then the quality is very good, or maybe you cannot find in another country. So next, this is the IOMART. At first we have the community first, and then we open the like a small bazaar, and then online shop for agriculture product initiated by millennial farmers. And I would like to share about, because most of IOMART member are a woman, so it can be impactful, and we prove that the leading or the leader or the woman is also can be have more participation in agriculture, not only in the lower parts as like maybe in the lower parts like the labor or something, but we as a woman, we become the owner of the agribusiness itself and also the development of that business. So almost of IOMART member are girls, as we can see all the team, almost all the team are women. And after that, on 2018, I become the youngest and only the one woman exporter, and we have like some awards from Ministry of Agriculture. And from that time, we make another bigger collaboration, both from the buyers, from the government, and also supported by the government, and also with the farmers itself. So the movement it become more bigger. And then this is IOMART is really have like a social impact, because we not only make the profit, but we assist the farmers. But the farmers also we already contract, like we have a contract farmers. So the farmers we can guarantee all of the yield of the farmers. We can take it, because in Indonesia or in another country, farmers is usually asking about the guarantee of the market also. And as the farmers, I have a small farm, but because the business is become bigger, I can engage more members, and we make the bigger impact to the society also. So I think that in the future, a woman in agribusiness is also the most priority, because the future of agriculture, like a smart farming, and also the millennial farmer is identically with the technology, and then also the like a small thing like the quality. And as a woman, we can make it all. We can become a good farmers also, because the mechanization can help us to manage the land and everything. And then we have like more expo to promote the product from the millennial farmers also. And this is our packing house. So as you see that most of the staff and the labor also a woman, because in our project we have like a specialty, the premium product, and all of this thing is a handmade package like that. So one by one and everything. And I prove that as woman is more good to make the good package, and then the QC also. Next, the farmers and the millennial farmers support food availability in the current crisis called the COVID pandemic. So we have a good record that IOMART is the initiate as the first initiative one that lead the millennial farmers to connect the market and the farmers at the first time the pandemic situation. And then because we have like a bigger collaboration with another exporter, we also can push the product from the farmers also. So during the pandemic, we have another award, because we can solve the problem by using the social food network, because in the community, and also ibu-ibu, or the mother of the family, is our community leaders. So they can collect the orders. It's like a simple things, but it's more impactful during the pandemic also. In Indonesia we call it PKK. So by the demand market, the community leaders, the mothers of the family can collect the orders, and then directly we can ask the farmers, because on the pandemic situation, at first the distribution of the farmers is not too good to to go to the urban area. That's it. So because why IOMART is have more participation, because in another side, I become the Secretary General of Indonesian Farmers Ambassador, managed by the Ministry of Agriculture. This is the big the big movement that to solve the regeneration of the farmers, millennial farmers, to become Indonesian the food source of the world in the future, like that. So this is our Indonesian Millennial Farmers Ambassador that spread in the 34 province in Indonesia. And in IOMART, we collaboration with some of the, so we connected with another, we call it the leader of the province. So as the ambassador, we have a group of the champion of the product in each part of Indonesia. So it quite easily to manage the supply from the remote area to Jakarta, and then we have like a more collaboration, and it's become the new ecosystem of agriculture. So we have nowadays we have 2,213 the millennial farmers ambassador, and most of them is in each province we have more than 5%. So it becomes the trigger of the movement, and then the supply chain also, and also the updating the stock of the product and any kinds like that. So this network is very useful to manage all the food system nowadays. And then we have in the government, we have a millennial agriculture program design, because each province needs to have the millennial center of excellence, and it's initiated by the presidential special staff. So it becomes the national program also. So we have like a food estate and food hub in each part as the center of the potential of agriculture community product, and it can be the closed loop by the system and also by the off-takers like that. So it's quite easier to help the young farmers to connect with the market, and also to make the less waste, because Indonesian have like a as you saw before, Indonesia have the separate area, and then it's quite uneasy to distribute the access of the food like that. And beside that, in IOMART itself also have we call it P4S, or the training center. The training center is to train the new farmers, because we need to develop the new regeneration of the farmers by the champion of the specific product like that. And it's depend on the area and the specific product. So beside moving the business itself and improve the local and national economic growth, we also related with the increasing the capacity building of the millennial in the rural area like that. So it's not only for the profit and the economic sector, we need to push the millennials to have the more capacity in agriculture sector, because in the future we need to train them as the future farmers. So we need to become the foresight like that. So yeah, this is the what I mentioned before. We are the ambassador is the pioneer or the trigger of the transformation in agriculture sector. But transformation itself needs to start from the mindset, habit, and then culture, so it can be easily impactful to others like that. And every Indonesian farmers and ambassadors spread in each province in Indonesia are working as the leaders and also the triggers of the movement in agriculture system. Even from that 2000 people ambassador is less than 20% of ambassador are women, but we know that in the future, the participation of the woman, the strongest woman in agriculture sector, it's become increasing day by day like that, because nowadays in the business in agriculture also using the mechanization is easier. Also, as a woman, I can use like a big machine, and it can help us easier. So it's not much different from the man and the woman itself. It's depend on the mindset that as a woman we can also success in agriculture. And then what we can collaborate, and the program that we can collaborate, the program between IOMART and also the Millennial Farmers Network or Ambassador. We have like collaboration, we have synergies, ecosystem in value chains, we have a networking both nationally and also in another country, and we also have the big partnership with private sector and also the government. And nowadays because the movement is become bigger, nowadays the government also embrace our aspiration to make the policy brief. And the last one is digitalization. So yeah, digitalization technology is the identically tools in millennial farmers. So thank you very much of the opportunity that I would like to explain about the women's participation in agribusiness. I hope that all of the millennial farmers, and especially for the women, is not have like down that we cannot be success in agribusiness like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mbak Jatu. Yeah, nice, really nice work. And so she's trying to have an ecosystem creation in the food availability. So many question for you, Mbak Jatu, and we will answer later. But before that, we will give you a appreciation, a certificate of appreciation. I would like to invite again Mylene and also Miss Monet, yeah, to come with us here, with also Jatu here. Is it Monet still here?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, Jatu, you have a fan here.
Oh yeah, thank you, Ibu Monet.
I am
And
so
thank you, Mbak Dia.
yes.
Me
We
too.
need to clone you for the Philippines.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you. We also have collaboration also with the Philippine ERRE, and also we always happy to collaborate with another part of good
organization. Yeah. Okay. So this
Yes.
certificate of appreciation is presented to Jatu Barmawati, the owner of IOMART Indonesia, for imparting valuable insights during Women Strong Network ASEAN Kickoff, models of women in agribusiness, given this on 24th day of January 2022. So let us take a picture. Smile. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right. See, agriculture is the future.
Yeah, so don't go anywhere.
Sexy.
Yeah, we will have a question for you later. Okay, so now we move to the last but not least panelist. Attorney Dulce Punzalan, Create Marketing Corporation, will have share about the bamboo partnership and eco-innovation in ASEAN. So let me read her resume also. Attorney Dulce Blanca Punzalan was a high school valedictorian and entrance scholar of the University of the Philippines, Diliman, in a BS Business Administration and Bachelor of Laws, and took postgraduate studies in the leadership and social entrepreneurship at the Ateneo School of Government. She is fondly called Isampu, it meaning 10 in 1. Let's explore more about this. Interesting, yeah. She has received numerous local, national, and international awards for her various endeavors, advocacies, and involvement in multiple professions and enterprises, 9 industries, and 40 organizations. Wow. She is actively involved locally and globally in the UN, ICO, ICC, INBAR, World Bamboo, GLF, APEC, ASEAN, ISME, WFMT, etc. in the following capacities: as a practicing lawyer, as a historian, as a forensic practitioner, a social entrepreneur, is a innovative aid marketing field bamboo, then also as a certified level 2 practitioner of TRIS, theory of inventive problem solving or systematic innovation in manufacturing, and the working group, and also as a technical committee for bamboo and rotan, vice chair of DTI Bureau of Philippines Standards BPS, technical community for bamboo and rotan, World Bamboo Ambassadors and Climate Reality Land Leader in the UN Global Compact and Global Landscape Forum, and also a signatory in the Interfaith Climate Change Statements and UN Women's Empowerment Principle in the UN Food Systems Hero, and the Corporate Secretary, Management Association of the Philippine Agribusiness and the Countryside Development Foundation, and also as a CPD lecturer or resources speaker in the United Architect of the Philippines, DOS PCAARRD, as a digital ambassador, Cultural Center of the Philippines, as a technical panel member in the DOS, PSIAT, and PBIDC, as a gender, youth, and sustainable development advocate, and also as a grassroots community leader and DRRM team leader, trained under the Asian Disaster Preparedness Center, and etc. So many. So her professional training, expertise, and experiences in the above fields are in 16 countries, it's including Indonesia here, Philippines, China, Malaysia, Myanmar, Singapore, South Korea, Thailand, Taiwan, Vietnam, India, France, Italy, UK, USA, and South Africa. Attorney Penzalan has also made noteworthy presentation or technical papers or case studies in creative industries, music, education, preservation of cultural heritage, indigenous people, law, social entrepreneurship, standardization, community development and inclusive growth, resilient design and construction, food system, environmental stewardship and protection, best practices in climate change mitigation and adaptation, national and global bamboo and rattan industry, biotechnology, health and wellness, women empowerment and fair trade, agribusiness, economic digitalization, sociology, and mass communication. Her local and global endeavors have greatly benefited environmental issues with environmental causes, persons with disabilities, cancer, spinal patient, indigent children, youth, women, senior citizen, urban rural farming communities, interfaith and peace building initiative, survivors of armed conflict, pandemic, education, nutrition and feeding programs, medical missions, healthcare, disaster prevention, relief reduction, risk management, and rehabilitation program. Wow. So many that we can learn from her this afternoon. So nothing more, I will call Attorney Dilce to come with us here.
It is estimated that there are more than 2 billion hectares, that is nearly 5 billion acres, of deforested and degraded land around the world waiting for human intervention to save it, to nourish it, and breathe new life into it. The health of our planet needs us to do something big as soon as possible. In many cases, the natural biome in these regions will never return due to toxic pollution that has led to collapsed ecosystems and the extinction of local flora and fauna. However dismal, these lands can recover and regain ecological functionality. When considering the optimization of forest ecosystem goods and services, as societal needs change and new challenges arise, bamboo has a tremendous role to play. We've heard about planting trees, yes, but it's also time to plant bamboo. Bamboo is resilient and adaptable, with immense biodiversity. Bamboo species can restore land. Their unique characteristics of quick growth, extensive root systems, and pioneer spirit can reduce erosion, stabilize slopes, absorb heavy metals, create shade, harbor wildlife, recycle carbon dioxide, and clean the air. Planting and managing sustainable bamboo forests allows for multiple social benefits, including rural development, improved housing, agroforestry products, which includes nutritional food and alternative fiber, with the big bonus of climate mitigation. Bamboos are natural flora in temperate, tropical, and subtropical parts of the globe, native on every continent except Europe and Antarctica. And the latest estimates are that there may be some 50 million hectares of bamboo around the world. That's nearly 124 million acres. Bamboo fits well into a landscape mosaic of interdependent land uses. Degraded lands around the globe with diverse habitats could be replanted with bamboo. The United Nations has declared 2021 to 2030 as the decade on ecosystem restoration, a massive global call to action to mobilize the political and financial support necessary to restore deforested and degraded ecosystems over the coming decade. As a member of the United Nations Global Compact, the World Bamboo Organization endorses this initiative and sees real potential where bamboo can help with many of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The World Bamboo Organization has also signed the Q Declaration on Reforestation for Biodiversity, Carbon Capture, and Livelihoods to protect and restore the world's forests. This important manifesto outlines key requests to policymakers, reforestation financiers, and practitioners to enable better decision-making for global reforestation to safeguard forest biodiversity, mitigate climate change, and improve livelihoods. To the planet, we say bamboo now. We say plant bamboo. It is time to plant bamboo and not simply use it.
Thank you very much. Salamat Sore. Magandang hapon. Maayong buntag sa inyo tanan. And I am very, very inspired by everything that I have heard and have interacted with. My question for everyone as I go through this presentation, if you had the power to travel back in time to your 4-year-old self, that beautiful little girl, what would you tell your 4-year-old self? As I was watching the presentations today, I recalled when I was 4 years old. That's when my agri journey started. Because this year, I will be 54 years old. So it's actually 50 years. And part of my presentation will be 50 years of bamboo in ASEAN. So that's the connection. Think of what you were doing and what made you inspired to be an agripreneur. So can we go to the next slide? Okay. So this is a snapshot of the 10,000 uses that currently we have for bamboo. Now, bamboo has existed for thousands of years in the ASEAN region, and in Indonesia, which is very close to my heart because I trained there in bamboo construction, in taxonomy. Dr. Elizabeth Vijaja was one of my mentors. I am fondly called Sister or Saudara Perempuan. And my favorite song is Bengawan Solo. So that is why I am very close to Indonesia. Now in this slide, you will see that in Indonesia and in ISO Technical Committee for Bamboo and Rattan, we have established several standards, specifically 9 different standards for bamboo and rattan, which includes the vocabulary for bamboo and related products, 3 standards in bamboo charcoal, which is generalities, part 2 is fuel applications, part 3 is purification applications. We also have established standards for bamboo flooring, indoor use, and very soon for outdoor use. For rattan, the vocabulary related to rattan materials and products have been published. And also bamboo structures for the grading of bamboo culms and test methods for the physical and mechanical properties of these specific bamboo culms. Now, why is it important? You will see that in the slide, it is definitely important that we know because the global bamboo output value as of 2018 is estimated at more than 60 billion US dollars. And ASEAN plays a big role in that. Next slide, please. Now, this is the global bamboo sector. As we have seen, the combined global trade volume is 3.25 billion, and the international trade of bamboo products consists of the following: bamboo kitchenware at 23%, bamboo articles of daily use 22%, woven bamboo products 13%, bamboo shoots 12%, bamboo-based panels 11%, bamboo furniture 6%, bamboo building materials 6%. The next category is bamboo raw materials 3%, bamboo charcoal again at 3%, and finally we have bamboo pulp and paper articles. And ASEAN women entrepreneurs play a big part in this global bamboo and rattan industry. Can we go to the next slide? This is a milestone document. I am the WG3 convener for bamboo charcoal, and we have published 3 standards earlier, as I have stated. I have also participated as a technical expert in the development of ISO International Workshop Agreement number 34, what is termed as Women's Entrepreneurship, Key Definitions, and General Criteria. And this landmark document was published on International Women's Day, March 8, 2021, by ISO, the Swedish Institute of Standards, and the International Trade Center. And throughout the process of the International Workshop Agreement, more than 300 experts from 77 countries, together with women-led informal sectors, micro, small, and medium enterprises, all the way to large corporations, the academe, research institutions, and government agencies participated. Another landmark document that is currently being implemented is called the ISO Gender Plan. And in January of 2022, the new ISO president is a woman. Her name is Ulrika Frank of Sweden. Now, what does this ISO Gender Action Plan contain? Priority area number 1 is to collect data on gender representation with the following levels: the national standards body, CEOs, the technical committees, the conveners, the experts, and the ISO member countries. The second priority area is to collect case studies on the national and international standards to define the best practices on standards in support of gender equality, and a repository of the said national standards body gender action plans and applicable policies and processes will be used and published. The third priority area is to improve the understanding of the possible gender implications on selected standards and to create the necessary tools and to revise and develop so that the existing standards and those that will be developed would be more gender responsive. The fourth priority area is to improve the understanding and knowledge of the standards in support of gender equality and women empowerment. And the last is to define the long-term objectives related to gender equality and women empowerment. So let's go to the next slide. In 2015, the United Nations Development Program Equator Prize awarding ceremony was held as part of COP21 in Paris, France. I am a delegate, a private sector delegate to both the COP21 in Paris and in the COP26 in Glasgow, UK. I also participated virtually in the Nobel Peace Prize Forum in Oslo, Norway, as part of the United Nations Food System, and our event is called UNFS, the Food Effect. Now, I am glad to share with you that way back in 2015, one of my social enterprises, which is called Field Bamboo Exponents, became a nominee for the United Nations Equator Prize, and a total of 1,461 nominations from 126 countries were received. And this is the best practices of the nominated enterprise as well as the winners. First is impact. Initiatives that have improved community well-being and local livelihoods through the protection, restoration, sustainable management of forests, sustainable agriculture, food security, community-based adaptation to climate change or biodiversity conservation. The second category and criteria is indigenous and community empowerment. This highlights the empowerment of local people, advancement of local and indigenous people's rights over lands, territories, and natural resources. The third is partnerships, initiatives that forge partnerships and collaboration with governments, the private sector, civil society, research institutes, and other stakeholders. The fourth is innovation and transferability, initiatives demonstrating new approaches that overcome prevailing constraints and offer knowledge, experience, and lessons which are very relevant to other communities. Then we have the empowerment of women and social inclusion, initiatives that promote the equality and empowerment of women and marginalized groups. And finally, we have resilience, adaptability, and self-sufficiency. These are the initiatives demonstrating adaptability to environmental, social, and economic change, resilience in the face of external pressures, and improved capacity for local self-sufficiency. We can go to the next slide. Now, Field Bamboo is actually one of the business plans that I did when I was doing postgrad studies in the Ateneo School of Government. And prior to that, BAM Snacks, one of 1001 strategies by my colleagues, Dina Domingo Roy and Georgine Cardenio, was also included as part of Field Bamboo eventually. Now, these are the international and national prizes that we have garnered. So we received the grand prize for the food category, which represented the Philippines, in the INBAR, or the International Bamboo and Rattan Product Ideas Competition in the Shanghai World Expo in 2010. 120 entries from 27 countries participated in the said event. Field Bamboo also won the Philippine Business for Social Progress Business in Development Challenge 2011, the Triple Bottom Line Award given by the Foundation for Sustainable Society Incorporated also in 2012, and the best industry practice on climate change mitigation and adaptation given by the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Climate Change Commission in November of 2013. We shared this award with Create, Innovate Marketing and Human Nature in the Kalikasan. And finally, as I mentioned earlier, we were nominated for the United Nations Equator Prize in 2015. Now, what is Phil Bamboo? We promote and advocate innovative, unique, healthy, and delicious food, beverages, and health supplements. And as part of the business plan that I presented before in Ateneo, and this was one part of the business plan that we have already expanded now, we have 20 food products developed within 1 year, and we are partnering with communities and with the National Nutrition Council, together with our halal counterparts, to have it commercialized, scaled up, and eventually distributed to the ASEAN countries. But we did not just stop with food. Knowing that it is important for a circular economy, we also developed packaging materials to go with the food. Now, this is an example of the designs that we made and are being used in our food products. So we utilized bamboo paper, the banana bark, and water lily leaves, and developed Asian and ASEAN designs, and we customize this especially for corporate giveaways. Next, so to go with the food, we have bamboo water. Now, bamboo water is from bamboo leaves. Bamboo leaves have the antioxidant properties that help to keep the balance of free radicals and ward off any excess amount that can cause a large variety of problems. Our fellow advocate, Bamboo Salubre or Bamboo Tisane, developed bamboo leaf tea extracts. And this enhances anti-radical and blood vessel disease. It protects the liver, expands the blood capillaries, and smoothens microcirculation. Now, bamboo tisane is the first bamboo leaf tea in the Philippines, and it is also combined with pandan and coconut, and will also be available also very soon online. Can we go to the next slide? Another innovation that Phil Bamboo has done is what I am wearing. I am wearing hand-woven bamboo textile lovingly made by the women of the mountain province in the Cordilleras in Hand Abra. And in this particular slide, you will see the pieces that we have presented in a fashion show in the Philippine PICC, Philippine International Convention Center, including a wedding ensemble and sportswear. Now, why do we promote bamboo clothing? In tandem with the Department of Science and Technology, Philippine Textile Research Institute. Aside from being environment friendly, it has natural microbial agent, and it has anti-allergen, and it also is breathable, and it also has natural UV protection. So for halal fashion, for Muslima fashion, I also have one because I am of mixed ancestry, and I also have Tausug relatives in Sulu. That's why King Guy's presentation is very close to my heart. Next slide. Now, these are part of the human nature products of Gandang Kalikasan, and Create, Innovate Marketing helps in the trade and distribution and training of advocates in Philippine-made natural, organic, personal care products and home care products. As a convener of bamboo charcoal and now of activated carbon is called black diamond, and bamboo charcoal is very, very effective because its negative ionic charge helps stimulate the blood flow and manage inflammation. So in this slide, you see that the many uses of bamboo charcoal is already a very good industry in the ASEAN, and bamboo vinegar, or the acid or pyroglycemic acid that is extracted when you make the charcoal, is applied to cosmetics, deodorant, toothpaste, shampoos, soaps, even detox food patches, and water purifiers and air purifiers. I am also wearing bamboo makeup made of bamboo and rice powder. Bamboo is the sustainable ingredient of choice in skincare, hair care, nail care, and even baby care. It is used both in packaging and the actual products. Bamboo extract is the richest known source of natural silica, rich in minerals and organic proteins, so therefore it strengthens the hair. It retains moisture. In 2009, a hair colorant with bamboo extract was introduced in the market, and bamboo is used for nourishing and soothing properties in products such as mascara and lip balm. Human nature products are also exported in the ASEAN countries and in Dubai as well. Next, this slide shows the 3 generations of bamboo women in the Philippines. On the left side, we have Miss Carmelita Barcelona of Hinda and Abra, and she is the pioneer of bamboo women in the Philippines because she was a co-founder of the World Bamboo Organization and a senior officer in the International Network of Bamboo. Then we have Dr. Corazon Claudio. She's a chemical engineer and she co-founded the Climate Action and Sustainability Alliance. Dr. Claudio was the editor of the 100 Best Practices in Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation by the DNR. Venus Henson is the president of Field Export Cebu. Carolina Jimenez, or we call her Tita K, has a 5-hectare bamboo setum and a training center in Rizal. She is the sister of Mrs. Flor Tariela. Dr. Annette Rigon is the founder, co-developer of the bamboo tea that you see. Mrs. Ursua is a woman inventor, an international award-winning inventor of bamboo flutes. She is a farmer, the eldest of 14 children, and she rose out of poverty because of her inventions. On the center, you have the second generation, Dulce Punsalan, and of course, my dear sister, Cherry Atellano. This was taken during the ASEAN Agri Summit. Cherry, Mylene already introduced her earlier. She is a UN Nutrition Ambassador. I am a UN Food Systems hero. And we were also co-volunteers before in Gawad Kalinga Enchanted Farm in Angat, Bulacan. In the lower portion of the slide, you will see Bless Pascual of Tarlac. She and her family are helping the rural communities in Tarlac create wonderful home decors which are exported to parts of Asia and Europe. And then we have Rachel Harrison, the president of Rotary Club Makati District, and she is a strong advocate of enabling persons with disabilities. She has a special child, Julian, who is a talented painter and a chef. She is the founder of Sambo Wood, a farm tourism space in Zambales. And finally, we have the architects and the engineers on the right side. Architect, environmental planner Joy Onosawa is an environment design specialist, an APEC architect, an ASEAN architect. Amy Villanueva and her architect husband, Ray Villanueva, designed the bamboo and cement frame houses which withstood the onslaught of audit. Emma Shapno is a banker. She is the head of the Alaminos Multipurpose Cooperative. They make engineered bamboo tiles. And then architect Kat Sapungay is a millennial architect. She and her principal architect, architect Christian Salandanan, designed the bamboo polo pavilion of the ASEAN Games, Southeast Asian Games. Then we have architect Dori Balisi from Cagayan.
Sorry, Dulce, because of the time, can you
wrap
wrapping?
up?
Yeah, can you
Okay.
wrapping up?
Okay.
Sorry.
So I just decided to mention this because here the ASEAN in the ASEAN China, this is the ranking. The Philippines is number 3, China's number 1, Canada, Mexico, and then India, Thailand, Indonesia. Now, what will happen if we increase this to the village level? So from one village, you can increase to 10,000 villages. And these are the products that can be made with bamboo. So that the women of bamboo in ASEAN will not only create economic jobs for everyone, but will actually tackle the 5 Ps of environmental sustainability. So this is the revenue that can be generated from it. And even the legislation is already there because the Filipino lawmaker, Ann Holler, actually wore the bamboo face mask and the bamboo face shield in her when she attended the working group caucus of the 11th ASEAN Interparliamentary last August 2020. So I just leave this with the description for strong women in bamboo. Strong women are not simply born. We are forged through the challenges of life. With each challenge, we grow mentally and emotionally. We move forward with our head held high and a strength that cannot be denied. A woman who has been through the storm and survived. We are warriors. Hashtag AgriFuture is digital. Achieving global goals, gender equality, resilience, and through inclusive innovation through bamboo. So hashtag AgriFuture is digital. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dulce. So really amazing about bamboo. If I can summarize, maybe one word in summarizing that word need more bamboo. Is it true, Dulce?
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So in the one summarize is a word need more bamboo from us, yeah, from ASEAN. Okay. Thank you so much. Once again, we would like to have give you a certificate of the appreciation. It's presented to, okay, Mylene here already and Monet already here. Okay. So this certificate of appreciation is presented to Attorney Dulce Punzalan as a World Bamboo Ambassador for imparting valuable insight during Women Strong Network ASEAN Kickoff, models of women in agribusiness. Once again, thank you. So already take a picture, Mylene? Smile, Dulce?
Smile, smile. Okay, one more.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dulce. So
Dulce.
Dulce, thank you. So because of the time, because we still have another speaker, I would like to pick one of the question here because so many question also. Okay, so I pick from the Evelyn because this is also, I think, challenge in Philippines. So hi Jatu, Jatu, are you still here?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi Jatu, you and your team are amazing. I would like to know how did you solve the logistic problem since a majority of the agricultural products are perishables. Can you share the logistic and warehousing and distribution model to all of us? Can we also contact the forward? Okay. Because I think Philippines and Indonesia have the same challenge about the logistic because we are island in the island. So maybe Jatu can explain more. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ibu Dia Yusuf. Yeah, the logistic issues is also our main problem in agriculture. About the supply chain is not easy in a perishable food product, and yeah, we understand that the main constraint because our country is mostly island and it's spread, but in main island we have penetration with government also. We call it BUMN, and we try to approach because like millennial is never give up, like please pa can you provide us like the train, the KAI Bu, the special logistic for the perishable food, so it can connect from Eastern Java to at least in one island like that, in the main island. But maybe in another island that we don't have like train or another kinds of like like the good good highway or something, we try to we have a networking about nebeng apa ya Bu ya. So it's like we try to collect some farmers to rent one cars together, so we can easy for them. It's like a small solution for the millennial farmers in the remote area. And then we also collaboration with logistics startup, so we can collect. We make the hub, yeah, hub, like a small hub, even it's like only home or something that they are have willingness to open their home to become like a small hub like that. So they can rent together for the logistic cars, because yeah, in the rural area and in Indonesia, it's quite easy. And another achievement that we also in Papua, Jakarta to Papua, we approach the military, TNI. Yeah, they have like tol laut, what it's called?
Ocean highway.
Ocean highway.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of, like yeah, the ocean highway managed by the military of the Marines, submarine or something, and we try to make some slot for the food over there, like that. Yeah, it's just like small solution, but I hope that more collaboration from the government and also the private sector can go together, because e-commerce and another startup in the logistic system is more useful, like Paxel. Paxel nowadays is very useful for the perishable food, less than 24 hours, like that. It's work in yeah.
Paxel is the brand name of the logistic in Indonesia that helping to transport the perishable. So based on Jatu answer, so Jatu is not using ordinary transportation, yeah, not using like a normal, but because of they are millennial, so they can push everybody to make their goals is achieved. Yeah, so through the military, through the another transportation, and so on. Is that right, Jatu?
Yeah, Ibu.
So the power of a millennial, I think.
And the woman in millennial.
Okay, woman power, millennial woman power. Okay.
Yeah.
Any else, Jatu? You will add something here? If not, because we are running out of the time.
Yeah, I think I wish that this the very very nice even like this can be have a fruitful solution for us, like that. So it's mean like some of the in the chat box I saw, like how do we engage or encourage in another country or duplicate, or ibu said I need to be duplicate in Philippines also. I think that yeah, the spirits in young farmer generation is need to be more influenced, and then we can manage, like not only in Indonesia, maybe in another country, almost the problem is the same, because there's have like ego sectoral system that cannot be easy to collaborate both in the private sector and also in the government sector. But by using the millennials and also the right scheme, that we can improve the and make the solution. Yeah.
So millennial approach, and millennial don't forget to plant bamboo, yeah, because the world need more bamboo.
Yeah.
So sorry, if the panelists agree, they can put their contact, maybe email, yeah, in the chat box, so everybody can approach you as an email. I think email is okay. Dulce, Ibu Intani, and also Jatu can share your email address in the chat box. Okay, Ibu Monet want to ask something, I think, or want to add something here.
No, I just wanted to say that I wish we could get Jatu to come here and infect all of the millennials here in the Philippines, because our average age of farmers is 53 years old. And this is a big worry for our country because of food security. Now, the important thing is how to make it exciting for the young. And for that to happen, they need to see role models. So I think, Jatu, you need to be invited over here to speak to the millennials so that they see that there is an opportunity, that it can happen. And, you know, you are the proof. That's
Thank
why
you.
Because to invite Ibu Intani, because I think we can learn a lot. We are one of our speakers is from Serga, Dr. Gregorio, and I believe we can learn a lot from Ibu
Yes.
Intani as well. Yeah.
Don't worry,
The
Mylene
guest
and Monet, I
lecturer.
will accompany her to go to Philippines.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Yes, and of course, Attorney Dulce will be joining us also.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Any more? Let's continue the conversations by giving us your contact details, ladies. Do we have any other questions on the floor? Like Lao, are you from Vietnam?
I don't think so. So because of the time, Mylene, I think
Okay.
the question will be come directly to Jatu, Attorney Dulce, and also Ibu
Okay,
Intan.
please.
Okay. So
Okay, all right. Okay, let's proceed. We have Chair Sandy, who has given us a video, a short video. She's talking to farmers actually in the north in Pangasinan to the Governor Espino, and she gives her apologies for not being able to go on time.
Before that video, I want to finish my moderator here. So thank you. Once again, thank you for the awesome insight from the 4 wonderful panelists. Hope you can have something to collaborate after this, and stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
You did a good job, Dia. All right. Okay, so let's proceed with the very short video of Chair Sandy, the chairperson of the Philippine Commission on Women.
No more introduction, Mylene.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here right now in Bigen, Pangasinan, joining you for our webinar, Models of Women in Agribusiness. So first and foremost, I would like to introduce myself. I am Chairperson Sandy Montano from the Philippine Commission on Women, or PCW, the primary policy and oversight agency recommending, evaluating, and monitoring development efforts towards gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls in the Philippines. Okay, allow me to greet first our distinguished guest this afternoon. Of course, headed by our president, Women Vice President, Ms. Mylene Abiva, the chairperson, Ms. Monet Toralde Hamlin, and of course, Yusek Bless Lantayona of DTI. We also have Dr. Glenn Gregorio of Southeast Asian Regional Center for Graduate Studies and Research in Agriculture, and the Ministry of Women Empowerment and Child Protection from the Republic of Indonesia. Good afternoon, Your Honor, Bintang Pospayoga, and of course, my dear friend, Attorney Dulce Poncelan. All the way, we're good friends and we're classmates in Ateneo Social Entrepreneurship class. And the chairperson of the Women Entrepreneurs Indonesia Network, who will be serving as our moderator this afternoon, Dia Yusuf. And Intani Biwi, our Secretary of Agribusiness Management Study Programs. And we also have the owner of Raja Farm, Indonesia, Ninik Modi Kijat, and all the resource person, and all those people that joining us right now in Zoom, via Zoom, Facebook Live, and everything. Okay, so good afternoon po to all of you, and we're really so happy to be joining you right now in this forum. Okay, so before I proceed, I would like to greet our participants who are with us right now, and let me share to you my screen. Okay. Let me start by borrowing this statement from FAO that the pandemic has disrupted livelihood, food supply chain, and people's access to food. This statement resonates all over the world and in the Philippines too. The coronavirus disease of 2019 or COVID-19 increased the challenges for people residing in the rural areas. Direct and indirect impacts expose the vulnerability of rural population to hunger and poverty. The hardest hit were the small-scale farmers, the fisheries, the foresters. Efforts to contain the virus resulted to decreased economic activity in the AFF sector. Thus, productivity and production has been interrupted. Transport disruptions for production inputs, raw materials for processing, and finished products for domestic consumption was severed by lockdown measures. Farmers, fishers, and foresters could not sell their harvest or force sale at a lower price. Okay, next slide, please. These often interrelated challenges. Okay, so as I've discussed earlier, the problem on poverty, the climate change, and the infestation in the rural areas, combined with the gender issues, require urgent attention. So our topic for today is very timely because globally there is a huge number of women in the informal economy, 38% of which was affected by the COVID-19 pandemic in the Philippines, most from the rural areas. So workers in the informal economy need more urgent attention due to the fact that this sector consists of independent. Okay, so we have to think that they are independent, small-scale producers and distributors of goods and services. It is further characterized by workers not covered by the country's labor laws and regulations. Working in non-traditional sector, sometimes they're not even registered. No formal bookkeeping, not covered by social security policies like SSS or GSIS, or sometimes they don't have really membership on even PhilHealth, and no fixed location, all of which are characterized of the AFF sector, making them marginalized, hugely affected by unfavorable conditions like the pandemics, and vulnerable to poverty. Okay, next slide, please. So this production, when we talk about contribution to the economy's gross domestic product, the growth rate dropped by 0.01 in the second quarter of 2021. The decline was due to the shrinkage of the growth rate of the livestock. So we have even a problem on Africans, the swine flu, and then there's this negative 19.5%, the cassava of negative 4.4%, tobacco negative 2.2%, fishing and aquaculture negative 1%, and mango negative 0.05% industries. Livestock industry is hit by the African swine fever, while the other four are hit by mobility restrictions due to the contraction of the transportation sector. So next slide, please. In the consultation meeting with selected stakeholders in the AFF sector, attended by representatives from key national agencies like the NGA, civil society organization, the private sector, 54 women farmers and fishers from across the country, a set of recommendations were gathered from their experiences before and during the pandemic. This activity was entitled Stakeholders Consultations on Strengthening Economic Support to Rural Women Amidst the COVID-19 Pandemic. Okay, so the aim of this consultation is to, number one, present the major government programs in response to COVID-19, focus on women in the AFF sector. Okay. Next, they would like to identify the prevailing and emerging gender issues during the pandemic. And third, seek recommendations from them on how government can address their needs to regain their economic productivity. Okay, next slide, please. The provisions in the GWI Plan 2019-2025 and the updated strategic framework to expand economic opportunities in AFF, which is part of the PDP Plan 2017-2022, and to ensure that proposed legislative agenda, existing laws, policies, and frameworks are reviewed and integrated with gender-responsive provisions, measures that support economic recovery, gender equality, and women empowerment during the post-pandemic. So we have A, for implementing agency, we have BFAR, DAR, DA, and other relevant agencies, okay? And 4, to ensure the gender responsiveness of the register system of the basic sectors in agriculture, and to recognize the role of women and contributions in the AFF sector to increase the number of women beneficiaries of the government service, okay? Next, we also have the equal opportunity and market opportunities to support policies to create jobs, such as social entrepreneurship, encourage self-organization for family farming enterprises. We also want to make sure to ensure the equal sharing of work among family members, reducing the burden of women, and encourage the registration of family-owned agri-enterprises, and guarantee the enrollment of all members, including women, to social protection packages. Okay, we also have to generate and utilize sex disaggregated data on the women in the AFF sector, including the landless worker, as support to policymaking and programming, adopt a whole of society approach by forging partnership with relevant agency organizations, such as but not limited to the DOLE, Bureau of Rural Workers, Department of Trade and Industry, Department of Information and Communication Technology, Cooperative Development Authority or CDA, the non-government organizations, the private entities, the LGU to address the pressing and interrelated issues of restricted mobility or no transportation at all. Okay, next slide, please. We would like to ensure and support the gender responsiveness of the agriculture and fisheries, revitalizing bills to boost competitiveness of the AFF sector, such as but not limited to Rural Banking Act of 2021, Agricultural Pension Fund Act, Pensionadong Magsasaka at Mangingisda Act, Inclusive Business Act, Agricultural Information System, and the Young Agripreneurs Act of 2021. So with all these issues we are faced right now, I plead everyone to buy local, buy Philippine products, support our local farmers. By supporting our local produce, we support women who are at the forefront in fighting this economic setback. If we invest in women, we invest in the future. So I hope we will be enlightened with all the platforms of the women in agribusiness from the different perspective, from the Philippines, from Indonesia, and from other countries that we are having right now. Again, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to share the policies, the work that we are doing in the Philippine Commission on Women to protect the economic advancement of women, especially for women in the rural areas. Again,
Dia, for our final, please announce that we will be giving certificate of attendance. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, so I would like to introduce Mr. Glenn B. Gregorio. Mr. Glenn B. Gregorio is a professor at the Institute of Crop Science, College of Agriculture and Food Science, UPLB, and currently the Center Director of Southeast Asian Regional Center for Graduate Study and Research in Agriculture, or SEAMEO Resarka. Recently appointed as the Chairman Technical Panel for Agriculture by the Commission of Higher Education and Steering Committee member of the Department of Agriculture Biotechnology Program. His career was developed at the International Rice Research Institute, IRRI, as plant breeder and senior scientist of IRRI's Plant Breeding Genetics and Biotechnology Division, He worked on rice breeding and genetics for tolerance to abiotics, stresses, and research management. He had a 3 experience as crop breeding manager in a private seed company. He is an agri-entrepreneur as co-founder of Binhi Incorporation, an agri-research startup company on micro-propagation and seed business. So this is, please welcome Mr. Glenn B. Gregorio.
A pleasant day from the headquarters of Southeast Asian Regional Center for Graduate Study and Research in Agriculture, here at the Spatial Science and Nature City of Los Baños, Laguna, Philippines. We laud the initiatives and efforts of our partners, Women's Business Council Philippines, in leading this kick-off event for the Women's Strong Network ASEAN, Models of Women in Agribusiness. Let me take this opportunity also to thank and congratulate Women Biz Philippines President, a good friend and CIRCA partner, Ms. Maylene Abiba. This is really a very timely and relevant. We have witnessed how agriculture took the front line during this global crisis. The necessity of producing and mobilizing food to feed the population has been a challenge that has been highlighted in the limitation brought by the pandemic. Let us not discount the dynamic role that women are taking as we navigate the evolving landscape of food security, nutrition, and environment protection. That is why we have included gender and youth engagement in agriculture and rural development as part of our 7 priority areas geared towards accelerating transformation through agricultural innovation at CIRCA. We want to impart not only knowledge, but values and principles to our farmers and farming families. And we realize that gender balance is one of the main ingredients if we want to transform minds, communities, and lives. Our farmers must become trans farmers who no longer limits his potentials in production, but equipped with necessary entrepreneurial skills to understand his market. I am also pleased to share with you that last week, CIRCA, with the IPAD Philippines Gender Network, hosted the regional forum on mainstreaming gender equality towards an inclusive and sustainable post-COVID-19 regional recovery. We convened various national and regional organizations from both the public and the private sectors. This includes farmers and farmers organizations and representatives from the International Fund for Agricultural Development, or we call it the IPAD, and of course from the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, who shared gender mainstreaming initiatives and metrics for gender inclusivity and sensitivity in our plans of action. We believe that this is also the best time to promote strategic partnership as a crucial step in providing in-depth knowledge and co-creation platforms for women as we welcome new movements in the emerging digital sphere in gearing towards the ASEAN gender outlook. Let us join hands as we kick off to a better, bigger, smarter, and stronger network of empowered women in ASEAN region and beyond. Again, thank you and God bless us all.
Thank you so much. Is there any certificate of appreciation, Maylene?
Yes, we do. Dr. Gregorio.
Can you join us here?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Dr.
Good
Gregorio.
day.
Yes, Yes, Dr. Gregorio, we can hear you, but we cannot see you. There you go.
Okay.
Right. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
May we call also Monette?
Monet, are you still with us?
Monette? Okay. Yes. All right. Dr. Gregorio is a scientist, an agriculture scientist. Dr. Gregorio is in, and we're working on a Lego project making agriculture sexy in the CERCA headquarters in the University of Los Baños by creating an innovation hub. All right. Okay.
Yes.
So, all right. I think Monette stepped out, but let's proceed. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, this certificate of appreciation is presented to Dr. Glenn Gregorio as the Director, Southeast Asian Regional Center for Graduate Study and Research in Agriculture, or CERCA, for imparting valuable insights during Women Strong Network ASEAN Kickoff and Models of Women in Agribusiness. So thank you so much. And of course, we are as a woman need a man to support us. We cannot do alone.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Dr. Gregorio.
And they have a gender and development program within CERCA. And we are all invited, Dr. Gregorio, to go to CERCA, yes?
Sure. Anytime.
Yes.
We are
Thank
open.
you.
Yes.
We were never closed.
Yes.
Especially
Thank you.
as we launched the Lego.
Oh, okay. The Lego.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Gregorio. Okay, let's
Thank you.
proceed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. All right. May we invite everyone to please join the Women Strong Network ASEAN Facebook page. Just either save this page, screenshot it, or just get the QR code. And we're building this as a just a start, but we're going to have a community of Women Strong Network here in ASEAN. And may I pass on the microphone to Dia, to Ibu
Yes.
Dia? Go ahead.
So in this event, I would like also introduce our new reform of Womenpreneurs Indonesia Networks. Then we will be inaugurate next week in Bali in the 31st January. So Womenpreneurs Indonesia Networks is we want to combine, because as a woman, not only achieving sustainable and optimum healthy growth, business growth, but we also must consider about the healthy in body, minds, and soul. And this holistic approach should be educated and socialized intensively. And of course, I would like to collaborate or have a partnership with the ASEAN network, especially with the Women Business Council Philippines, to be our affiliate. Thank you, Mylene.
Let me do some, we need to also do some fundraising. But here we have the publication. We have a I Am Woman Gender Responsive Guide for Business and Corporate Leaders. This is a gender literature that you will read from being for the Magna Carta of Women until gender responsive marketplace, supply chain, and all that, until the Safe Space Act. So this is here. Okay, it's $5.99 for the printed copy, $4.99 for the ebook, and $6.99 for the bundle, which is a printed copy and the ebook. And then we also have a copy of the Women Rise. For government agencies, please do reach us, and we will give this for free, a complimentary. For those who would like to avail, it's $1.99. Okay. So I believe that those are all the announcements. Dia, would you like to say the attendance? Please register your name and your details for the certificate of attendance, especially for those in government, for our friends in government, so that you can show it to your superiors or to those in your team. So please just screenshot or just enter this for your registration. Okay, Ibu Dia, we have had a very successful and insightful day with all the women in agribusiness. So in behalf of the Women's Business Council Philippines, we'd like to say thank you so much for your time, for your wisdom, for all the speakers, the panelists, and of course, Dia. We have a certificate of appreciation for our wonderful moderator, our friend. May we present this? So I will present this to Ibu Dia. May we show the certificate for Ibu Dia. Okay. The certificate of appreciation is presented to Dia Yusuf, the chairwoman of the Womenpreneurs Indonesia Network WIN, for imparting valuable insights during Women's Strong Network ASEAN Kickoff Models of Women in Agribusiness, given this 24th day of January 2022. Thank you so much, Ibu Dia. Thank you,
Thank you
and to
so
all
much
the
and see you
participants.
again. Okay, let's
Yes,
strengthen together. Okay,
let's feed
bye-bye.
the world, ladies and gentlemen. Let's feed the world. God bless. Thank you. Terima
Thank you.
kasih.
Terima kasih.